All right, we're ripping just a casual catch up podcast today. Nothing crazy, no agenda. I actually just got back from an evening workout, which is unheard of for me. So I don't know what to do with myself right now. I'm fired up.
Yeah, so you normally work out in the morning, right?
Yeah, it's kind of been all over the place lately, but most of the time morning, sometimes like early afternoon or like, 12, 1 p.m., but never this late.
So, I mean, you're usually pretty locked in on your routine. So why did you have to work out later on tonight?
I went on basically a whole rampage when I was on my flight to Japan trying to reorganize my calendars because 'cause I'm really working on reducing stress, so I'm just trying to be more efficient, like, I've moved around a lot of my stuff to try to theme my days a little bit more, so meaning, like, one day is all team stuff, so I'm, like, going through all of our teamwork, we're doing our team meeting, and then one day is all content, so just trying to theme stuff that way, so I'm just moving stuff around and just kinda experimenting. So today was the one day since I have a meeting in the morning and then I go to a coffee shop after. I'm like, "Okay, let me try to do, like, an evening workout before a podcast and just see." So I'm just kinda playing around with stuff, seeing what works and what's more efficient for me, so we'll see.
I was actually talking to one of our clients, Nick, the other day, and he was experimenting with his routine. He got a new job, and so he's like, "I think I'm going to work out in the morning," and I would totally encourage that. I was like, "That is awesome, do it." And he did it for about a week. And he's like, "Yeah, that's not going to work for me." And so, but I was like, "That's awesome because you have to experiment. You got to figure out what's going to work best for you." But I think you should try like a morning workout, for at least a week or two. See how that affects the rest of your day. You may end up loving it. So you never really know until you try it.
Yeah, 100%, I agree, just experiment with everything, find what works best for you. Same with, like we always say this is everything, like, find what works best for you as far as food, experiment with types of food, find what works like same with workout timing. One of my clients, Sean, who we had on the podcast, I'm sure people remember, he's a very religious morning person as well, and so he had to switch to afternoon workouts because of his work schedule and stuff, so this is the first week of him doing that too, so I was talking to him about it as well, and he's like, "Man, it feels weird, like, I don't know how I feel about it," but he's also was like, "My strength is through the roof." I'm like, "Yes, that happens too." So, like, there's pros and cons to everything. Like, I know a lot of people like starting their day with the morning workout and getting out of the way, but then there are a lot of benefits to doing it in the evening too. So, again, it's just experimenting, finding what works, and you can find the good in either side.
Yeah, speaking of workouts, so I had a workout today, and it's just one of those days. It was kind of just a long day, and then I covered for someone that had an after school class, and they're doing like soccer and kickball, and so I'm running around doing that, and I was just kind of worn out, and I was hungry, and of course, I'm gonna go and do my workout, but I was just like, "Oh, man, like, I'm struggling." Like, it's, just and so I was thinking about I was like, "You just gotta do the workout, though." So I walked in the door and started doing my workout. I was doing single arm kettlebell presses, and, like, halfway through the set, I was like, "All right, baby, like, I love this. I'm feeling so good." I was like, "Why would I even, like, second guess anything?" Like, I feel so, as I was just feeling great about it, and I was like, sometimes just that biggest battle is just walking through those doors. And so there's so many times and talked to so many clients who are like, well, I didn't go work out today because of this. And there's so many reasons why we can't work out, right? Or we don't want to work out or whatever the reason is. But man, if we can just get in those doors and just start the workout, there's so many times where you end up having a really good workout or you feel so good afterwards. And so you're just doing it sometimes, just getting in there and doing it.
100%, yeah. I know you posted about this too, which by the way, I've been loving the content that you're posting on Instagram. I was gonna say you're a natural, give the people more of what they want, and everyone listening, go check out Laurence on Instagram. I'm loving the content so far.
Yeah, please check me out because I'm not sure I'm sold on that comment right there.
But no, I feel the same too, like, I kinda felt that today just because I went in the evening and I don't know, like, it's harder to get that momentum for me in the evening, which is part of the reason why I train in the morning as well, but same thing, it's like, you just get going as soon as you do, like, the first rep, the first set, you're like, "Okay, yeah, we're feeling it, we're good."
And I like morning workouts better. And one of the reasons too is just one, it sets the tone for the day, but also there's so many other barriers throughout the day that get in the way. And it would have been so much nicer to be like, okay, I'm super tired. I don't have to go work out. But, I didn't have the opportunity to get a morning workout today. So I just did it. But yeah, I'm telling you, man, just sometimes it doesn't matter. You might feel, low energy. You might not be in the mood. You might be like, one more thing, tired, whatever may be. Just get in there, do a few sets. Just getting in there and showing up is way better than any perfect workout anyway.
Yeah, and honestly, that's one thing that I've been battling in my head a little bit too, like, it's easy for me to overcome it just because, like, I know and this is stuff that we coach, but Me too. Like, because I've been on this rampage and, like, organizing my schedule and trying to reduce as much as possible and cut out as much as possible. Part of that is, like, cutting down my workouts a little bit more too to take less time. I get into that mindset of, like, "Oh, if I can't be in there for 2 hours, like, taking my time doing everything, then, like, oh, I don't wanna go." When that's just not the reality. Like, I can have, like, a hell of an effective workout in 45 minutes to an hour, including the warm up and mobility and all the stuff I'm doing. So, it's easy to get caught up in the mindset of, "Oh, it needs to be perfect." But no, it's like, just get in, just do what you can.
It's funny you said that because I'll catch myself sometimes, and let's say I have like a 30-minute workout or something, and I'm done, and I'm like, should I do something else? Like it was a good workout, but I feel like, should I be doing one more thing? And then so I have to like stop and like talk to myself, like, dude, the workout was great. You did everything you needed to do, everything you wanted to do. You're good. Go enjoy, go enjoy the rest of the day or whatever. So
Dude. I feel that. I do that too, but also with work stuff. That's actually been a huge problem for me lately. Again, like everything for me comes back to stress, as I'm sure some people know. Like I've been navigating a lot of health issues, and it lately, like all my labs and stuff, is because of stress. I've just been literally killing myself with stress. Which, are we surprised? No, but I already lost my train of thought. But oh, part of it is I realize now that I'm like being extra hyper aware of it and like relentlessly cutting stuff out of my schedule get done with my main goal is creating space because I haven't had space. I'm literally rushing, stressed 24/7. I don't have time to do errands or eat or do all these things, which is not good. I need to have space for many reasons. But now that I've been doing that, whenever I have literally just a few minutes or like even an hour, 30 minutes, whatever, immediately I find myself looking at my to-do list for the rest of the week. I'm like, okay, what can I get on? Or what can I add on? What else do I need to do? And then I have to catch myself and be like, yo, what the hell are you doing? You got everything done. Be okay with that. You got what you need to be done. Chill. I don't know why for me it's like impossible. I've trained myself that I always need to be doing more and that whatever I do it is enough. And it's just such an unhealthy pattern and puts so much extra pressure and stress on myself, which is part of the issue I'm dealing with.
yeah, and I'll tell you one thing that I found is a really good use of like an extra 30 minutes if you have it is watch like a Seinfeld episode.
Damn it. I could never escape.
I don't know.
Oh man.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so let's talk about because what I want to really find out about today is your Japan trip. I want to hear all about this. So just tell us about the trip, from the travel to the food to just everything. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, Japan was awesome. I just got back. So we're recording this Wednesday. I'm still trying to figure out like what day it is where I am from the time zones and everything. But yeah, I got back on Friday late at night. So I was there for 2 weeks. Really long trip, but amazing time. It was so cool to experience a very different culture. There's a lot of highlights of the trip. One is the food, though, I will say. Food was oh, it was incredible. I went absolutely insane. I posted a lot of the stuff, and I'm sure you and other people have seen, but, like, I went fucking hard. I went really hard on the food.
Okay, hold on. Let's stop there because I mean I absolutely love food, obviously. So I want to hear more about this. So let's say I'm going to Japan. What are the must haves, or what are some of the things that you were just like, this was amazing. I've got to have this.
Everything. No, but the funny thing is, for one, they have food literally on everywhere. Like, basically everywhere you go, no matter where, like, all these temples in the middle of the fort, like, whatever, there's food. All the time, everywhere. It's good. It's so funny. And we would always joke around, like, wherever we go, no matter how remote or, like, how old or, like, all these, like, old ancient castles, and then there's just, like, a bunch of food. But, yeah, it's everywhere, which is interesting. And then, like, even more than here, 'cause I feel like I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's everywhere. And then even the convenience stores, that's what I was really blown away by too, is, like, 7-Eleven was a big thing there, like, all their normal, like, gas station convenience stores have, like, full meals of, like, ramen and noodles and, like, chicken and fish, like, they're, like, stacked with so much food and, like, so many, like, good things, like, I'd be able to go and just, like, get some hard-boiled eggs that they had in, like, some, like, soy sauce, which is really good, lots of protein options, like yogurts and egg like, a bunch of stuff, so it's just really cool to see that as well, and then as far as, like, the restaurant
Yeah, I want to ask about the convenience store.
yeah.
Isn't it Japan where there's like this? They have like packaged egg salad sandwiches that are supposed to be like amazing.
Yes, yes, I did, I had many of those. Those were at the convenience stores for sure. Yeah, they had a lot of stuff like that.
So they were really good.
Yeah, that's funny that you heard of that. Apparently, like, that's a big thing.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just saw, yeah, just see some random posts. People were trying like packaged, they're like, these are the best things ever.
I mean, yeah, like, they're good. I don't think it's like, revolutionary. Look, they're really good, yeah. I guess I don't know, I've never really had egg salad either, but, like, their bread is really fluffy and good too, so yeah, really good, but there's a lot of things that are way better if you go to restaurants, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry I interrupted you. I had to ask you about that.
Oh, no, you're good. And yeah, there's a hack too. I don't know if anyone's going, but apparently, like, you get the fried chicken that they have, like, they have a bunch of, like, fried heated stuff too, so you get, like, one of the fried chicken stuff and you put it in the egg salad sandwich, apparently that hits. I didn't try it personally while I was there, but I heard that's the move.
That sounds amazing. I'm gonna make my little chicken salad tomorrow. Maybe I'll make a chicken egg salad tomorrow.
There you go.
I'm on it.
Yeah, ramen's obviously, like, their thing, so good. I had the best ramen of my entire life that I think ruined every other ramen for the rest of my life for me, so there's that. It's funny too because me and my friend like, I went to that one alone, and then me and my friend went to this other one that's, like, like, it's famous on Instagram, and, like, everyone was talking about. There's this line out the door that we waited for, and I get in, I eat, I'm like, "It's alright, it's average." I think the other one ruined it for me. He's like, "What are you talking about? So good." So lots of ramen, lots of noodles in all forms, like udon and soba and stuff. Sushi, obviously.
Okay, explain to me the little conveyor belt of sushi because I've seen stuff like that before, but I don't know how this works. Tell me
Yeah.
how this works. And it looks like you ate like 20 plates or something every time you went.
I may have it was that was, like, the most where I was out of control. It was crazy. Me and my friend did some damage for sure. But dude, they get you. That is, for one, the most genius business idea ever because you get in and the one we went to, like, had this big, like, whole, like, essentially, like, computer monitor, like, almost like small TV. It was, like, bigger than an iPad type thing, and you sit there and it has, like, what it's like they gamify there's, like, a game that you can play with it. I skipped that because I was so hungry when I got in, so I was like, "Give me sushi immediately." But they have, like, a game for it where I don't know if you get a certain amount of play I don't know what they do, but they gamify it, which is genius as well. And then they have the menu kinda, like, floating there. They have, like, some of, like, their starred stuff that like, all the favorites or whatever on there. Then you can scroll through all the different types, and you literally just, like, pick what you want on the screen. You hit, like, send, and it'll, like the conveyor belt is, like, constantly going, like, by your booth, so it's like you see everyone else's food whizzing by, and then whenever yours comes, it goes on the path and, like, clicks and, like, falls like, goes by your table. And so it's just fun to like, that whole thing is just fun, like, picking what you want and then seeing it show up and then seeing everyone else's go by too, like, I'll be like, "Oh, what was that? Like, I need to go find it and then order it." So, yeah, it gets out of hand really quick.
Okay, so that was a little different than my thoughts on it. The way because I'd see those videos and I thought, okay, maybe they just put them out there and
Mm,
hoping that you see them like, oh, that looks delicious, and you
mm.
grab it. You know, "Oh, that looks good," and you grab you just keep eating whatever, then they charge you whatever you bought, you know what? So you actually do order it beforehand, and then it comes okay. Alright.
Yeah. I think well, there's another one I went to as well that kinda had that, like, they had some where they were just going by that you could grab and then some where you could order too, so I think it's, like, some places do it differently, but yeah, really genius business idea for sure, and it was a lot of fun, and I went way too hard.
Well, it's that visual aspect. I actually saw a really cool and who knows if this was AI created or actual real, but I saw this really cool menu that had little tiny, like 3D images of the food item that you could buy on the menu. So you could actually see what it looked like, every single item, instead of just guessing or thinking about what this may look like. And it was like, man, I guarantee if every menu had that, you know exactly what you want. It'd be so easy, but you'd also probably want to buy so many other things. So you're like, wow, that looks really good. Oh my gosh, like look at that dessert, whatever, as opposed to just words on the page. So yeah, and of course you throw technology in there. That's yeah, I could see eating way too much sushi.
No, it's funny you say that though. All the restaurants in Japan do have that. Like they have
Really?
like fake versions of their food like sitting out like on the doorstep or like by their menu. Like every single one has that. So you see like what the food looks like. And every single time it got us, we'd walk by and be like, "Oh, that looks good. I don't know what that is, but that looks good. I want it." Like every single time.
It's hard, man. It's like the whole fajita effect, right? You go to a restaurant and they come with they walk by with the fajitas and you smell it and the smoke is up there and you're like, man, I want that. And so yeah, that's pretty genius marketing.
Fajita effect. I've never heard that one before, but that's accurate.
I don't know. I think I just made that up, or maybe not. Maybe I heard it somewhere, but I don't know. Maybe it's only me. But I'm sitting in Mexico, right? I see that stuff going by, like that looks really good. It smells good. It sounds good. I want it.
Yeah, so conveyor sushi was fun. And it's interesting too with sushi. 'Cause I realized we've Americanized sushi so much here in the US, 'cause, like, they don't have rolls there, like, all these elaborate rolls with the fried stuff and the cream cheese and all the other bullshit, like, that does not exist. They literally just have the rice and the fish. That's it. That's their sushi. It's bomb. I think it's just funny coming back and realizing, like, "Oh, we've even made sushi, like, more unhealthy and, like, packed with all this other stuff."
Well, you love sushi, right?
I do.
So, has this kind of ruined I mean, like, do you ever wanna eat sushi in America again, or is this like, "I will probably in a couple weeks, I just, give me some time to get over it."
Valid question. I love sushi too much that, like, I there's no limit, and, like, even if the quality isn't the same, I'm still gonna eat it all, but definitely the standards are way higher now, and it's gonna like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to top it, especially because I did end up going to, like, one nights we went to a Michelin star sushi spot, so, like, that was, like, the best sushi I've ever had. It was mind-blowing. They gave us, like, so much other, like, random, like, fish and things I didn't even know what it was. It was a cool experience, so, yeah, that ruined me, the ramen ruined me, steak ruined me, like, it's over.
Tell me about the meat, because I saw some amazing pictures.
Yeah, like, they're known for their, like, beef, obviously, like, their Kobe beef, like, A5 Japanese Wagyu, so I got a few of those, like, we went to this, and everything there is, like, way cheaper, which is nice. So, like, even on these, like, big steak dinners and, like, the nice sushi, like, it's still relatively cheaper compared to what you'd pay here, which is nice. But yeah, got A5 Wagyu, like, so good. I just words can't even describe. I'm still thinking about that meal. There's a lot of that too, and you'd be able to go through the markets, and they have just, like, what sushi everywhere. They have, like, skewers of A5 Wagyu or just skewers of steak or chicken or, like, they do a lot of, like, fried stuff too, which I didn't indulge in too much. But, yeah, they have it everywhere, and the quality is so good. And, like, some of the ones I posted, they had, like, their certification behind this whole thing, but it was really good.
Man, I'm getting so hungry right now.
I know. I haven't eaten either, so now I'm talking about all this food. I'm just like,
That sounds amazing. And so tell us about the culture.
yeah, really cool. I mean, one, just like the mind, like you could just see everyone just values health and longevity a lot, it seems like, and there's their cities are really made for you to walk. Like everything is walkable. My tour guide was telling me how a while back, I forget what city, I don't know if it was Tokyo or somewhere else, but it's like it got burned down or something. They had to rebuild it, and like they still made it the way that they did before, that where everything was like kind of like I forget the term that they use, but it's, like, more walkable, like, the streets aren't as wide, like, there's not, like, parking or anything like that, but it's, like, you walk everywhere, that's just the thing, so, like, we naturally got 25-30,000 steps a day, like, without thinking about it, so, like, that's just how people are living, they're just walking everywhere, and it just seems like they value health and longevity a lot more, like, we go to all these temples that are, like, not necessarily easy to get to, and you'd see these people that are probably, like, in their 60s, 70s, like, walking up there, hiking up there like it's no problem, just going and doing their thing, which I thought was super cool to see.
So you notice people just generally, I mean, obviously, if they have to walk, you're gonna walk more, but just generally more active and
Yeah, and just, like, healthier, it seems like, which is cool, and me and my tour guide were kinda talking about that too, how in Western culture, it seems like a lot of people just accept decline and defeat, and it's just like, they just give up and, like, they wither away, and a lot of people I know can relate that. I talk to so many people, like, on a daily basis who see their parents or their family, friends in that position, they're just, like, withering away and, like, accept defeat, and I feel like no one does that there, or at least from what he's told me too, like, it's just a very different mindset around that, which is cool to see.
well, yeah, and you hear a lot of comments when people are getting older, like, "Oh, it stinks to get older," or, "It's the way it is." So that's good to hear.
Yeah, and one thing that I really like too is just the standards that everyone has there. Like, they take so much pride in their work, no matter what work they're doing, whether they're, like, cleaning something or working at a restaurant or, like, whatever it is, like, they do everything to the best of their ability at such a high standard and just, like, they take so much pride in their work, which I is very admirable and was cool to see as well, and then even all you hear about, like, people being clean and polite, like, it's so true, like, everyone is just so polite, everything is spotless there, like, all the streets and everything. We were at the airport, and there was, like, a guy, like, one by one, like, scraping off, like, gunk off the tiles at the airport, like, just, like, little like, people are, like, brushing, like, the little sills, like, in their front yard, like, just little things that no one would notice here is, like, everyone pays attention to that, obviously, like, you take off your shoes in a lot of places, so I loved that. I loved how polite and clean everything was, and everyone's so quiet too, like, if you were loud, they probably hate, like, all Americans that come because everyone's just so loud. It's like the subways are dead silent, like, or if you're in a restaurant and you're loud, like, you're getting kicked out. I'm like, "It is amazing, I love it."
That's so cool. So, like, in my mind, I picture, like, everyone, just having the best etiquette and everyone's just very respectful. Is that what you Is that what was that your experience?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I love it. I'm already loving Japan. I've never even been. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's cool, and I feel like, I only went to like, we hit a bunch of the main cities, but, like, it was more of just cities. I know that, like, there's so much too, like, as far as, like, nature and, like, mountains, and they obviously have, like, the beaches, they have, like, their own, like, Hawaii, like, south. So, like, I feel like there's a lot of diversity and a lot to see there too, outside of just the main cities, but even the cities are huge. Like, Tokyo, still can't even wrap my head around how big it is. Like, we were at this tower in the middle of the city that where you get, like, a 360 view of everything, and as far as you can see in every direction is just, like, cities. The city, like, it goes on forever. Like, I literally can't comprehend how big it is. It's crazy.
That's amazing. Okay, so I wanna hear about the travel too. So, like, how long does it take to get to Japan? And I know you have some experiences that you're gonna share as well, so I wanna hear about that too, but
I'm trying to think in total. Like, we had one, like, 12, 13-hour flight, and then one, like, 3-hour flight. So probably, like, 15, 16 hours in total of flying, and then obviously it's, like, driving to your destinations and stuff. Which honestly wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, I think the worst part is obviously just, like, sitting and being uncomfortable and not being able to move. Like, I'd get up and, like, go and, like, walk down the aisles or, like, do some squats or, like, stretch a little bit here and there, but it's like you can't do much. So that part was the worst, but I think overall, like, it even on the way there, we didn't like, I didn't have Wi-Fi, which sucked because I was like, "I wanna lock in, I wanna work." But, like, I still had so much I wanted like, I need to do, like, I just wanted to read and journal and, like, had a lot to reflect on, so I'm like, I kept myself busy, and on the way back, I had Wi-Fi, so I just worked the whole time, so it's like it wasn't bad for me, it's just, like, sitting there is obviously brutal.
yeah, so tell us about the experience on the way back.
Yeah, so it was 33 hours of travel. I was dead. Basically, so we woke up at 4 AM in Japan and took, like, an hour and a half bus to get to the airport in where were we at? We were in Osaka, so we were flying from Osaka to Tokyo, and then Tokyo back to the US. So we get there plenty early. We're at the check-in counter for an hour and a half, and they're just like, you can tell that something's up because all the other people in our group that were on our flight already got checked in, already left. So me and my friend who like were traveling together, we were like, what's going on? Like we knew something was, but they're so polite. Like they didn't want to like freak us out or anything, but like they were just like trying to figure it out and like acting like everything was fine. But I knew something was up. And then we started to get concerned because our flight was leaving at 8 and it was like 7:30. I was like, what's going on?" And she was like, "Yeah, so your flight's invalid." And I'm like, "Come again? What do you mean?" "It's not invalid. I have it pulled up on my United app and all of our friends literally like just checked in and you're on the plane now. So what's up?" So there was just a lot of confusion. We still don't know what happened because one, there's, like, a language barrier, so I don't know, like, we were trying to, like, do Google Translate, and then I was having my tour guide, like, talk with them and stuff, so it was a whole thing. We were all still confused because like, it said invalid on their end. We called our tour company, and they said, "No, it should be fine, like, we have it here." We called United, and they're like, "Oh, no, like, it should be fine. We have it here too." So we're like, "Oh, what's good?" But they weren't letting us on our plane to Tokyo. And again, like, I was taking, like, they were boarding, like, everything, so, like, me and my friend were freaking like, we were starting to get, like, stressed and, like, really annoyed because they wouldn't let us on the flight, and basically they said, "Your flight to Tokyo is fine, it's just, like, the ones to the US, like, are invalid and you don't have them." Like, "Okay, that's fine, whatever, just let us on the Tokyo flight, we need to get there so that way we can get another flight from Tokyo because there's not a lot of options from the small airport that we were at." So we were just freaking out and, like, they were just weren't letting us on, and so, I don't know, we started getting a little pressing them a little more, like, just, like, really frustrated and, like, stressed in. And so eventually, like, they're like, "Okay, like, you can go." And so we literally, like, sprinted. This is the first time I ever had to run to catch a flight, running to catch our flight. Made it to Tokyo, thank God. But then we didn't have flights. I don't know what happened. It disappeared or still don't know. So basically we were just stranded at the Tokyo airport the entire day until we got our flights rebooked. And so then we got on our flight, 13 hours, whatever, made it to DC, had a layover there, and then we got on our flight to Tampa. And as soon as we got on, there was like some issue with air traffic control or whatever. And so we were sitting on the plane for like an hour, hour and a half before we even took off. And me and my friend just looked at each other, just like started laughing. We're like, of course. And then we made it home and then got our bags and everything. So yeah, it was just a long day, a lot of stress.
That is a really long day. My gosh.
And the crazy thing is like we time traveled because like, we left Japan on our long flight, I think it was, like, 5 or 6 PM or something, and we landed in the US at, like, 4 PM or something. I was like, "This is crazy." On the same day, I'm like, "This is I don't know what to do with myself." My Aura Ring was, like, glitching out 'cause it didn't know what was happening.
So, how long did it take you to, like, feel, like, back to normal again?
Pretty quick, honestly, just because I didn't sleep for that entire, like, 2 days straight in preparation of, like, immediately getting back on normal schedule. So, yeah, that night, I it felt like I took, like, intense sleeping drugs just because of, like, how deep my sleep was. I don't know how to explain it. It was crazy. I was just so tired. The next day, I didn't sleep, like, I woke up at 4 and, like, couldn't go back to sleep, but then ever since then, I've just been on my normal routine, so it wasn't too bad.
Good. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I feel like if you travel a lot, then, like, you have some kinda story like this, right?
Let's
Like,
hear yours.
no, yeah, I definitely have a story, and this is so I didn't fly very much at all when I was a kid. You know, growing up, we drove everywhere. My parents loved to drive, and just like a handful of times I might have flown. Well, obviously, when I was in New York in school, I had to, I wasn't going to drive back, for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, something like that. And so I was going to fly back. I think this was for a Christmas break, and of course, it started snowing and, the guy that was gonna take me just called me up, like, a couple hours before we were supposed to leave and was like, "Hey, I can't take you now." And I was like, I gotta get to the airport." And this is, like, before, like, Ubers and everything like this, right?
Mhm.
And so, like, I'm running around and I found a good buddy of mine, Vinny, like, the typical, like, Italian guy, the coolest guy in the world, super chill, and he's walking down the hallway. I'm like, "Vinny, dude, I need to ride to the airport." He goes, "Yeah, I'll take you." But he just had, like, four-door sedan type of thing, not really what you'd wanna have when it's snowing out. And somehow we get from the college to the airport. It was like, I mean, we were going down like ice hills and we are just
Oh my
like
god.
saying prayers, like we'll survive this. But that was like the least of my worries. Like, so we get there and he was like, I'll wait for you just in case there's something happen. I'll drive you back. But it was so busy and so packed. Like they were not letting anyone like park anywhere. And they were like, you're gonna have to leave unless
Mm,
you have a flight. So he was like, let me know, if you need anything, but I gotta go. So I'm standing in line, and at this point, I don't think I'm gonna get my flight. There's like a line out the door, and it's just taking forever. And there's like an actual person from the airline walking down each person, like, "Hey, where are you flying? Is this gonna connect? Are you gonna make it?" Things like that. And they get to me, and I was connecting through St. Louis to Houston. And she's like, "Where are you flying to?" I was like, "Houston," connecting through St. Louis, and she was like, "Good news is that the flight hasn't left to St. Louis yet. You should be good to go." And I was like, "Oh, yes, this is gonna work out great." She's like, "But however, I'm not quite sure if you're gonna make the flight from St. Louis to Houston." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "But you just get on and we'll see what happens."
mhm.
And so, of course, it's like already a delay, and there's like a couple hours delay, whatever. And so I'm like, this is gonna be chaos. There's no way I'm gonna make any of these things. I don't have any really experience flying either, right? So
Mhm.
I'm like kind of anxiety like the entire trip. And I get on the plane, wasn't a bad trip, I get there, and this is like, you can't remember, at sometime at night, and I get to St. Louis, and I rush out of the gate, right? And then again, this is before all this technology, and the lady standing there, I'm like, from St. Louis to Houston, has it left? And she's like, no. I'm like, oh. And so I'm like taking off. And of course, like on the other side of the airport, are you talking about running? Like I'm sprinting. I got these bags. I'm like flying past people. And a world record time, I get there and there's all these people hanging out. I'm like, what is going on? I get there and they're like, have I missed a flight from St. Louis to Houston? And they're like, oh no, it doesn't leave for like another 3 or 4 hours. I was like, what? Like, oh yeah, we've had some major delays. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like exhausted from running right. And then I'm hanging out and I'm just like trying to go to sleep, but not go to sleep. It's so long. And they're finally like, all right, we're gonna, and this is probably like, I probably should have landed in Houston like 4 hours ago, right? So I'm already looking at like 6, 7 hour delay overall. And it just takes longer and longer and longer. And I mean, I probably sat there for like 7 or 8 hours and then finally got on the flight and we land safe and everything like that. But I think I was supposed to be in Houston like at 2 or 3 o'clock and I ended up getting there at 6 a.m. the next morning, with all
Man.
the things like that, and it was brutal. It was like the worst experience ever, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm home." But I
Yeah.
do like flying, and it's funny because 'cause I'm like, anytime I have an opportunity, I'm like, "I'd probably rather fly than drive."
Yeah.
I think it's just because I don't have to think about it. Like, when I drive, like, I have to be in control, I have to sit there and, like, pay attention. Playing, I can just read, fall asleep, whatever. I don't have to worry about it.
So are you one of the people that likes to, like, watch movies or, like, chill on the plane, or are you one of the people that, like, works or, like, does stuff productive? Because I feel like there's 2 camps of people. At least people will be giving me shit on Twitter for it.
So I typically don't do any work on a plane. Like, I like to read a lot on a plane, but, my attention span isn't great for reading, so I gotta read for a little while. I'm like, "Alright, what else can I do?" So, but I usually won't sit there for a whole movie. I might watch a show or something or parts of it, things like that. I don't like sleeping, even though, like, I wanna sleep, but then, like, I walk down the aisle and I see these people and their mouths are wide open, and I don't feel good, like, when I'm sleeping too on the plane. I'm like, "I'd rather not if I can," but, yeah, so I'll typically read for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't do much work.
that's valid. Yeah, I feel like everyone has, like you said, like, their own trauma from travel and just, like, crazy stuff, and I feel like no matter where you go, even if stuff goes as planned, I feel like it just brings up it's just very stressful. You're always worried that something is gonna go wrong, especially if you had one of those experiences or you're worried about your bags or something, I don't know. I feel like there's always something in the back of your head. It's just always a stressful time.
It is, because it's always in the back of your head. Like, you hear something over the intercom or you see something like, is this gonna happen?" And like you said, like, it's not just one thing, there's a lot of things, and I think I've experienced all those, at different times or whatever too, so you're like, "Oh, I remember that happened," so it's reality, it could actually happen. So, yeah, you almost, like, brace yourself for it, and then it doesn't, you're like, "It actually went as planned, how about that? That wasn't a bad trip."
Yeah, that was actually our mentality, like, the rest of that whole day, like, after we didn't have those flights and everything. There's actually, like, more too where it's like we possibly could have made our original flight, but then, like, because our flight was invalid, like, we had to get our bags, and so then we missed it, so there's all that too. But after that, we were like, "Okay, I'm just gonna," like, I was just assuming everything was gonna go wrong and be horrible, so every time something did go good, I'm like, "This is amazing, I feel good, I'm so grateful."
Man, maybe we should just always have that attitude. Learn not be like pessimistic, but just know that there's so many bad things that could happen that when things go well or things go as planned, at the end you're like, all right, pretty good. Everything worked out the way I hoped, instead of just assuming it and overlooking it. But I don't know.
Yeah, and one thing I think about too when I'm traveling, I don't know if you people watch a lot at the airport, but especially around food, like, there's just such unhealthy patterns around food at the airport. Like, it can be 5 AM and the bar will be packed with people. Like, people are drinking, people are eating, like, full meals or pizza, like, all this shit, or just, like, I don't know, it's such a weird place.
It's almost like a Twilight Zone. Like, you're right. It doesn't really matter. Like, it's almost like you get there and is an option, right? If you want to drink, who cares? It's 7 a.m. Doesn't matter. We have a bar there. Go ahead and have something to drink. It's just like, yeah, uh, you see some weird things. That's one thing I love to do. One, I'll tell you, I love that people watch, like, in the airport. Like, I love if I have any kind of wait time, I'll walk all the gates, and I'll just look at people, watch people. And then, do you ever I don't know, maybe this is weird to me, but I like to when I walk down the aisle of the plane, I kinda, like, check everyone out, and I'm like, "I wonder if, like, that could be a terrorist." Like, that guy, like, I'm like I keep my eye on that, or that guy could be, like, one of the plane cops types of thing, whatever. I like to look at people, and I try to think about, like, what their story is and things like that. So maybe that's part of what I do on the plane too, other than the reading out loud, just watch people and try to figure out like what their story is.
Make up a story, make up a whole life story for them.
Yeah. Yes, that's entertaining. It passes time well.
Yeah, and even with the food stuff, I know it's like people get to the airport and they eat, like, they eat at the restaurants, they go and grab food, they're eating at the gate, you get on the plane and they're eating snacks the whole time, like, everyone's just eating, I guess I'm interested to hear your perspective, like, I feel like it's just because people just don't have anything else to do, naturally, like, they feel just kinda, like, bored or uncomfortable, and so they're just like, "Oh, I just wanna eat," like, to fill the time. Which is also, like, an unhealthy pattern, something that I noticed, like, in America, especially, like, even in Japan, it's like, you're not allowed to eat out in public, which is another different thing too, and I feel like it kinda ties into that same theme. Do you think that's what it is, or why do you think that the airport is a place like that?
Well, I think airport is an example of many other places that are similar. It's the environment. Like, I mean, I'm just as guilty. I'll get there and I'm like, you know what I should do? I'd like coffee right now. even though I don't really need one or anything like that, and there's a Starbucks, of course, or some
Yeah.
coffee shop, and I'll get one just because, hey, I wanna walk down the gates while I'm drinking my coffee. And then I bring tons of snacks. I bring all my protein snacks. I'll bring, like, a protein bar, I'll bring beef jerky, I'll bring protein donuts. I have all kinds of things, and it's almost like I think it does give me something to do, and I get excited about it. I sit down, I read, I'm like, "You know what I have in my backpack? Protein bar that's really good," and I'll pull that out, and I'll take my time eating it, and like that. It's almost like it's like the destination type of thing. It's just something to do, and so yeah, I think we just get a lot of times we just get caught up in the environment, and whether it's society or we create it ourselves, uh, like this is what I'm going to do in this environment, and it's just a routine. So yeah, food plays a big role in the airport, whether it's boredom or, hey, you're there for a long time and you wanna eat or whatever it may be.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I think that's one thing people can just like start to be aware of too. Like when you're even in those moments day to day, even if they're at the airport, it's like a lot of time we turn to food as a way to cope with emotions or stress or boredom or whatever it is. And just like be aware of that. Like, are you actually hungry? Do you actually need to eat? Or like occupy your time with something else or, just hydrate, drink some water or pack some good foods, things like that. But even speaking of protein bars, a lot of airports now have like a protein section, which I love, like at all the little like convenience stores here in the States, which are not like Japanese ones, unfortunately. Like I love that they have like core power, like protein shakes. They have like oikos shakes or like Greek yogurts. They have protein bars and like jerky and beef sticks and stuff. So I'm like, oh, there's a lot of good options if you do have to grab something at the airport, though, which I love.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I really love that. So there are really a lot of good options, a lot of good opportunities to eat healthier if you want or eat a high protein meal. One thing, because you're talking about the challenge of, if you're bored or just you're eating just to eat type of thing, that's a big challenge for me. Like I said, I'll go to the airport and I'll have all that stuff and I wanna just start eating, and I'm like, "I'm not even that hungry. I just wanna grab a snack, whatever I brought in my backpack." And so sometimes one thing I think you have to be very aware of it, and you have to kinda almost say, like, "Do I need this?" type of thing, but even then, I'll say, "Do I need this?" We're like, "No, but I really want it," and I'll just eat it, right? So sometimes what I'll do is I'll challenge myself, and I'll say, "Okay, I wanna have this, but I'm gonna wait an hour." And
Mm.
then just like, let's just say let's say it's 2 o'clock, and I'll say, "I'm gonna have this, but I'm gonna wait till 3 o'clock. I'm gonna see if I can wait till 3 o'clock." And then if I'm hungry, I'll have it.
Mhm.
And it's kind of fun too because usually I end up eating it, but at 3 o'clock. But then like I'm almost more excited about it. It's like 2:58. I'm like, oh yeah, 2 more minutes. I get my snack, and I'll do that driving a lot too because I get super bored when I'm driving like on a long trip, and I have my protein snacks, but I don't have like an endless supply, right? Plus, I shouldn't be eating everything anyway. And so I'll do that, and I'll look at it. I'm like super bored, and it's like 10:30. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, I'll eat at 10:45,
Mm.
and that passes the time because I'm driving, I'm thinking, "Oh, it's 10:38, whatever," and I get there and I'm like, "Okay, it's 10:40," and then I get even more excited about it, and I think I enjoy that snack, whatever it is, much more because I challenged myself and I had to wait for it, and then I'm like, "Alright, here we go." I wait and I did it, and so, I don't know, that's just something if you guys wanna try, it might work for you, and then it might work in terms of you're like, I'm really not that hungry, I really don't need it," or you forget about it maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, I feel like in general, that's a good check that, like, we kinda coach people on day to day. It's like, if you're feeling that craving, it's like, go do like, create a buffer, like, or have it to where you don't have it in your house and you have to go and get it. And usually it's just like that act of like, "Oh, actually, I have to get up and go do it." I don't really want it. It's just something like a craving I wanted. Or it's just like have a glass of water or go for a walk first and create that buffer. And again, if you want it, then go and have it. But a lot of times it helps you to bring more awareness to it and be like, "Okay, do I actually want it? Do I actually need it right now? Probably not." And like you said, if you do, like, cool, go do it. It's fine. I think I do the kinda same thing though, like, I'll, like, time it out sometimes as well. I didn't realize I did that until you were mentioning it. I'm like, "Actually, yeah, that checks."
Yeah, it works pretty well for me. Okay, so I'm pretty excited about our next episode because we're gonna relate it to your trip to Japan. So can you explain for our audience what it's gonna look like?
Honestly, I haven't really thought much about it yet. I haven't really planned out exactly what we're talking about. But like there are a few themes that I noticed, like some like I briefly mentioned here, that just tie into like a fitness journey and just I feel like more applicable tools that we can take from this trip or just like I've been writing a lot of content on this. So just taking more themes and things that I saw in Japan or just things I learned or ways that I approach travel and stuff to stay on track because like I said, I ate a shit ton of food. Like honestly, probably like 4 or 5,000 calories a day at some days. And I came back not having gained a single pound. So it's like even just how I structure that to, like, stay on track because a lot of people struggle staying on track when they travel. So, just things like that to make it more applicable and things that people can take away and apply to their own life or just perspectives that they can take. So that's kinda I think will make it more fun as opposed to just, like or more, applicable for people as opposed to just talking about, like, "Oh, yeah, had a great time eating all this stuff." But it's like, no, what are actual takeaways that you can apply to your life?
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so appreciate everyone hanging with us, listening to my ranting on all my trip and everything. But yeah, we'll talk about more things that translate beyond just the travel and all that. So make sure you're subscribed. Don't miss the next episode. And if you enjoyed this, or just any of the other episodes, feel free to share it with someone who you think would enjoy it too. And we will catch you all in the next one.